Okay, so let me just check. We should be live right now. Just waiting to see. There's a bit of a delay here. So anyway, I think we are live. I think audio is working and everything. So hello and welcome back to Altex TV. So today's live stream is going to be all about my top 10 favorite films of all time. These are the ones that have changed. Well, not really changed, but I've grown up with them. They've changed a sort of perspective on my movie. What's the word I'm looking for? Movie view on all these types of movies. They've motivated me, changed me, entertained me like none other, and fond memories as I've gotten older. So let me know in the comments, guys, in the live chat. Drop your top 10 list of movies of all time because no one's going to have the same. And that's the beauty about this stuff, is that no one's going to have the same list. So I'm very intrigued to see what everyone else has. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't a best list. So, because I can tell you now, my top 10 best list, like if I just go straight into movies, dissect them and give you which one's the best, it's going to look different to this list. This is just my fun, entertainment sort of films that I really, really love and that are my favorites. So without further ado, guys and women and ladies and gentlemen and everyone that's watching, thank you again for joining me. And let's get right into this list. So I'm going to start off with number 10. Now, there was a big toss-up here, number 10, which one I wanted to put on. And I was really trying to see what one I would put at number 10. And I was tossing up between two. So I had to go through and I chose Signs. The one that stars Mel Gibson in it. Shanahan, I think, directed this one. It was between that and the Predator from 1987. And I love the Predator. But Signs, I just remember when I first saw Signs, this movie scared the living crap out of me. Like, I kid you not. I was about 14, 15 when I saw this movie, and it scared the crap out of me. Like, I just enjoyed that experience to a certain degree, as you would. But it was that type of movie where you see the aliens, and they're a mystery at the start, and you just see the legs and here and there. And then when he walks across that scene where he just walks across at the birthday party, scared the living crap out of me. I had nightmares for a month or so about this movie. So I just love Signs. I love the way it was made. I love the story behind it. The ending's not so strong. I know that. I would love a better ending. However, to me, Signs was just so good. I just thoroughly enjoy watching it. And it gives you that experience of being scared and that fear, that dread, and you don't know what these aliens are or anything like that. And that's what makes it so great. That's why I've got it at number 10 of my favorite list. All right. So we move to number 9, and it's going to be Dragon Ball Super Broly. This is the best Dragon Ball movie ever made, in my opinion. I had so much fun watching it at theaters. I went and saw it twice in the one day. Like, I just enjoyed it that much, and I absolutely have a fun time with this film. Obviously, I'm a massive Dragon Ball fan. As you can see, my Dragon Ball pops all up here. I mean, look at them all. I just absolutely adore the TV series. I grew up watching it. I idolized Vegeta as I grew up. The way that he never gave up, it motivated me never to give up to get to where I want to get. And no matter who you face or what you face, trying to find that way to just get in and get out and just overcome anything. So when I watched this film, there was so much heart to it, so much backstory. The way they redid Broly to absolutely, Broly is now in my top 10 favorite characters of Dragon Ball, which he wasn't originally. But now he is. He's even pushing top 5. He's that type of character. And the way they redid him, the fight scenes, everything about this movie was just so good. And we got Gogeta Blue as well, which was a bonus. And I thought this was just a fantastic Dragon Ball movie. And I enjoyed it so much that I have to put in my top 10 list because I just love it. I've watched it so many times, like too many times. I've watched it more than a game. That's how much I love this film. And it's it's one of them. My childhood is Dragon Ball. I grew up watching Goku and Vegeta, and to have them on the big screen, to finally get a great film of Dragon Ball with these characters was just a blessing. So Dragon Ball Super Broly comes in at number 9 for me. Now, coming in at number 8 is probably going to be one that's going to surprise most people, and that's The Martian, the one starring Matt Damon, Jessica Chastain, and I forget the other guy. Louis. He plays Luis in the MCU. Michael something. Anyway. So, The Martian. What I love about this film is I'm a massive sci-fi guy. I love sci-fi. Anything sci-fi, I will watch. Anything space, I will watch. What made this film stick out from the rest for me is just the whole way this was actually put together, the way the story is, the way that he actually has to survive on Mars by himself. Matt Damon does a fantastic job. And this is the sort of space sci-fi adventure that I love. To see someone just not give up, it motivates you. Don't give up. There's always a way. And he goes on and he continues on. Even in life-threatening situations, he continues, pushes on, and he finds a way. And that's what makes The Martian so good for me, is that it hits you and you go, you know what? I know it's all fake and stuff like that, but if he can do that and he can find a way to push through, then I can do that in anything. I can do that in my general day life. And it's just so good. And I love the whole mateship behind it, where the crew don't even give up. They're willing to sacrifice a couple of more months of their life away from their family to save Matt Damon's character, which was so good. And I love how everyone behind at NASA is like, the guy is like, no matter what, we're going to save this guy, because, you know, people are more important than what we have to do and cover up to save money, which is so good. So The Martian comes in at number 8 for me. Now, coming in at number 7 is Rambo, the first one, First Blood. Now, what makes Rambo so good is this is a character study. This is just breaking down the character of Rambo and giving him layers, showing him why he is the way he is. And personally, this one actually does hit a lot harder to me than what I would say most people, well, not most people, but some people, is because I have a father that went to war and stuff like that, and I know what it's like to live with someone with what all they've seen, how they wake up at the sight of banging and everything like that comes along with war. And that's what makes Rambo so good, is it's dissecting this character that's seen so much pain, that's lost everyone, that's trying to really get into the world, but it's changed completely and he doesn't know what to do now. And it's so good when he's triggered the wrong way, how his instincts take over and he treats it like he's in war. And that's what makes Rambo First Blood so good. That's why I'm so excited for Last Blood. I just love Rambo, and I love this first one. It is so good as a character study, and it's what makes film so good. And these type of character studies that dissect the character and show you the best of him and the worst of him, which is what I like to see in my movies. So Rambo First Blood comes in at number 7. Okay, coming in at number 6 is a classic, the first Jurassic Park. As a kid, I saw this when I was like 5 or something like that, and I adored it. This was where my love of dinosaurs when I was a young kid came about. T-Rex was my favorite because of this movie. Now, my parents thought that I might be scared of this, but I ended up loving it. It's just such a fun movie, and watching it now, the practical effects and all that still hold up today, and it is still the best Jurassic Park in my opinion. You got Jeff Goldblum, who's absolutely fantastic. I mean, everyone loves a bit of Jeff Goldblum. Everything about this film was so good. The whole adventure side of it, the whole stupidity of humanity, where we think we can take the raptors when really raptors are going to absolutely murder us. But everything about Jurassic Park was so good. And this was the first time that you watched a movie like Jurassic Park and believed dinosaurs were real. Like, you could believe that dinosaurs were real. That's how good the practical effects and everything, all the effects in this film were. And it holds to date now, holds currently right now. And it is just a fun, fantastic film. And unfortunately, we haven't been able to get that charm back in the Jurassic franchise so far. So hopefully if they do another Jurassic World, they can finally get it back and create something as good as the first Jurassic Park, or at least close enough to it. So Jurassic Park comes in at number 6 for me. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Rocky 3. Now, what makes Rocky 3 so good is, oh my God, this movie just motivates you so hard, so much, that you just want to go out there, you want to run, you want to box, you want to do whatever you do. And funny enough, Rocky 3 is actually one of those movies before a football match that I play. I actually watch Rocky movies, Creed movies, to get myself motivated before the game, to give you that little bit of the edge that I need, just to give you that little bit of fire in your belly to go, you know what? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show the world everything. And that's what Rocky did. And this is where you see Rocky rises to fame as the world champion. He's living the life. He's not taking anything serious. And the new guy that's more hungry, that's come from nothing, wants his title more than him, knocks him down. And you see the tragic death of, I believe it's Mick. And you see that tragic death and how much it puts on him. Apollo steps in and trains Rocky to get that motivation and that fire back. Even though Rocky's won everything, he needs to find more motivation to win everything again. And that's the trick. That's what I learned as a sports person is, once you've won everything, it's hard to re-motivate yourself to win it again, because you're like, well, I've done everything. What's next? And that's why I love Rocky 3, is because he's at that point where he's like, well, I've done everything. What's next? And Apollo says, no, there's always more that you can do. And as a sports person, I love that. And that's why I got Rocky in my top 5. Is because it motivates you to push on, to go further, to get to that next level, even though you've won it already, to get there and win again and win again and win again. And it's a fantastic film, Rocky. I absolutely love Rocky. And Mr. T is a fantastic villain. And Stallone is just so good in this film. And that's why it comes in at number 5 for me. Okay, coming in at number 4 is going to be The Dark Knight. And what can I say about The Dark Knight? Heath Ledger as the Joker. Whew, absolutely sensational. He won an Oscar for it, and so he should. That, when he was the Joker, see, what makes The Dark Knight so good, what Christopher Nolan did so well in this movie, in my opinion, is I'm sitting there, and you're supposed to be rooting for Batman, but then you're like, Heath Ledger does such a good job, and the direction of the Joker is so good. You're kind of like, I don't want to see the Joker die or anything. I want to see more of this Joker. He's just that good. The chaos version of him. This is a completely different incarnation of the Joker than Jack Nicholson's, Jared Leto's, Mark Hamill's, and Joaquin Phoenix's Joker that we're getting in October. That's what this is, just the chaotic version. And what makes this Joker so scary is he thinks he's the hero of his own story, and he always has a contingency plan in place. So when his first one fails, he's got another one. And that's what makes it so good. Christian Bale is great as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Alfred is just, oh, he's so good, the guy that plays Alfred. I absolutely love the Alfred character in the Dark Knight trilogy. He's so good. And everything about the Dark Knight is just so good. And this is the best comic book movie in my opinion, and I absolutely love it. And it's one of the Batman films that I constantly rewatch. So The Dark Knight comes in at number 4 for me. Coming in at number 3 is going to be The Rock, which is the one with Sean Connery and I believe Nicolas Cage. This is all about Alcatraz and escaping from it, breaking in and escaping. And it's just, this film, I remember when I watched it the first time with my dad and he showed me this, I absolutely fell in love with this. This is just such a fun film. It is so good. Sean Connery is so good in this film. The line he says about, oh, how does it go? Oh, it's right there on the tip of my tongue. When Nicolas Cage says, I'll do my best. And he goes, your best? Losers whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen. It's just such a good line. That line, every time he says it, I'm just like, only Sean Connery can say that and get away with it. It is so good, so much action, so fun. I believe the villain is Neil Harris or something. I think his name is. I think, but anyway, he's great in it as well. And it's another film where you see the villains are the hero. They believe they're the heroes of their story because they haven't been treated right since coming back from war. Families who have lost people in war are not getting the due respect that they deserve. They're not getting payouts or anything like that. So he's out there to make a change, and he's taken over Alcatraz with people, and he's detonating rockets to explode and kill millions of people and stuff like that. And it's such a great story, and everything about it, the way that it goes throughout, is just such a good journey, and it is so good. And that's why I've got to have The Rock at number 3. It is just that type of film. If you haven't seen The Rock, guys, check it out. It is such a good film. Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery, check it out. The Rock. Okay, coming at number 2 is going to be Aliens. This is the second one, the one straight after Alien. And I'll tell you what, this movie is just so good. So flippin' fantastic. Absolutely adore this film. The first Alien, I absolutely love as well. Absolutely love. I wanted to put it on here, but I thought there's some more that I favor a bit more. But it is a great film. It is a great science horror film that transcended the genre, sort of. But this one, Aliens, took it to a whole nother level. This was the more action side. This is where you saw the aliens in mass amounts. The alien queen, Sigourney Weaver, absolutely at her peak. Like the famous line, "Get away from her, you bitch." Like, that line has gone down in history as one of the great lines. That fight between her and the alien queen, so good. Hicks is absolutely great in this film. I love everything about Aliens. The action, the blood and gore, the jokes, everything about the Marines was so good in this. Aliens, it was just a phenomenal action film. Guys, if you haven't seen Aliens, check out Aliens. It is fantastic. I enjoyed it so much, and it is my second favorite film of all time. Now, we've come into number 1. Now, some honourable mentions. Obviously, Predator, 1987. I really wanted to put it on the top 10 list, but I couldn't. It's just not enough room. That one's there. Lord of the Rings, the trilogy, absolutely love them as well. They got to be in there. Spider-Man, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man, adore that film as well. And The Godfather, love The Godfather 1 and 2. But unfortunately, there's only enough room for 10. And these are my favorites, not best. So we come into number 1. And number 1 is actually going to be a trilogy. Because if I had to choose one of them, it would be 1, 2, and 3 would be these ones. So I just pick them as a trilogy because I can't just go 1, 2, and 3 in a top 10 list of all the same ones. And these 3 is the Star Wars trilogy. The original Star Wars trilogy. What makes these my favorite films is because these are the first films that I really remember watching with my father. And to me, that I'm going to hold that very dearly. When he first showed me this is where I got my science fiction love, my fantasy love from. And everything Star Wars I love is because of this. I saw these and I just gravitated to it and just fell in love with it. Darth Vader is my favorite villain of all time in movies. And he's one of my favorite characters of all time. He just, something about him that terrifies you and just draws you to him. He's just one of those villains. Everything about the Star Wars trilogy, from how it's made to how it has developed over time and how it still holds up, is just so good. The characters, Luke, the beacon of hope. When you watch a Star Wars film and you watch the character Luke, you feel like he gives you hope no matter how bad your situation is. Because look at the guy. His dad's an evil friggin' overlord that just rules everything. He's losing everyone he loves in war, and he's the only one that can stop it. So if he has hope to go through all that, to fight his own father, to overcome the dark side in the pool, I mean, it just gives you that hope. And everything about Star Wars just does that for me. It is just so good. I thoroughly just enjoy it. I can watch the original trilogy, and I've started watching A New Hope with my son, and he loves it. He sits there. He's about two and a half now. He sits there and watches it, and he, every time he sees it and sees Darth Vader, he says, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars. And to have what I had with my father, to have it with my son and watch these, it's one of those movie experiences that I'm going to hold and take with me to the grave no matter what. Those two experiences, being able to share it with my father and then share it with my son, and hopefully share it with my grandchildren as well, to show them that this is what I love about the movies. This is what I fell in love with. This is where everything that I love, all the sci-fi, all the Marvel, everything like that came from Star Wars. And to me, no matter what it is, I will watch it if it has Star Wars in it. I'm not the biggest fan of The Last Jedi. I'll still watch it. The prequels are not the best, but I still watch them. Anything Star Wars, I will watch, no matter how bad it is, because it's just changed my life so much. It's changed everything about the way I view movies, why I love movies, and why I particularly are drawn to certain categories and certain genres of movies, is because of my experiences with this and everything else. So Star Wars trilogy comes in at number 1. So let's rally off my top 10 favorite films. Number 10 is Signs. Number 9, Dragon Ball Super Broly. Number 8, The Martian. Number 7, Rambo First Blood. Number 6, Jurassic Park. Number 5, Rocky 3. Number 4, Dark Knight. Number 3, The Rock. Number 2, Aliens. And number 1, the Star Wars trilogy. So let me know in the comments, what are your top 10 favorite films of all time? I'm so intrigued to hear what everyone else is. Obviously, you've heard my list. My list is very different to what most people are going to have on theirs. And I'm very intrigued to see everyone else's. I've heard some lists on other YouTube channels from people that send them in and stuff. And I see some of them, and they're so diverse. And it's so good, because this is what film does. It changes you and changes your perspective on these things, because it's art. I'm not going to see the same thing as, say, Joe Blogs over here. Me and Joe Blogs are not going to see the same thing if we watch this movie, because it's art. It's different. It's the same as a painting. You look at a painting, 10 different people will see 10 different things. And that's what's so great about the movies. Some movies I may not like at all, you may love. Some movies I may love, you may hate. So let me know in the comments, what are your top 10? I'm so intrigued to hear it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have yourselves a lovely day. And remember, keep smiling, because tomorrow is always a new day, and there's always something good in your life. So see you guys later. Peace out.